30 seconds. All right.
How you doing, Don? Whenever we're ready.
Yep.
Showtime.
Okay. All right, good evening and welcome to the December 16th, 2013, 7 p.m. regularly scheduled school committee meeting. Call the meeting to order at 7 p.m. This meeting is being both audio and videotaped this evening, and I would ask that everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I'd ask for a roll call to my left, please.
Elizabeth Marcia Boucher.
Rich Ficero.
Deirdre Mayu.
Gregory Thompson.
Gordon Smith, Superintendent of Schools.
Bill Fonseca.
Terry Olingers, Assistant Superintendent for Business.
Kathy Saletti, Recording Secretary.
Aria Bracci, Student Representative.
Okay, thank you. And since we have some guests tonight, I'd ask for a motion to move the agenda item 4.1.1, if I may, please.
So moved.
Motion made
Second.
and seconded, and that gets you folks right to the top of the list. All right. How you doing tonight? Please, Corey.
We have Jack Dalton and Allie Phillips here representing, they're both high school students, but they're here representing the St. Michael's Players. And St. Michael's each year, when they put on their fall production, they pick a certain group to donate to. And this year it was the East Long Meadow Public School Music Department. So I think Jack and Allie have a donation for you, which...
Okay.
Yes, I know that St. Mike's Players likes to donate to any organization that really kind of coincides with the theme of the play. We did the Music Men, obviously, and they thought that it should go to the East Lagoa High School, or just the public schools music department.
Yeah.
So we have raised $500 through those donations.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we'd like to present that to you.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Thank you.
And both of you were in the production, correct?
Yes, we were
Yes,
the
we were.
rebellious teen couple.
Did you play each one?
Yeah, we had a good time.
It was a lot of fun.
That's great. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, yes, very generous. I'll leave you with that.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, let's see, we've got some minutes to approve, please.
Motion to approve the minutes of December 2nd, 2013, regular session meeting.
Thank you. Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carries 5-0. Committee and subcommittee communications. Aria, please.
Well, the high school drama club originally had scheduled Friday night and Saturday night for their production of Lucky Lucky Hudson 12th Street game, and unfortunately Saturday night production was canceled, but I heard that the Friday night was really successful and a good time. Also, junior Paige Seuss broke the school record for high jump. She jumped 5.5, and I believe she was tied for the PVAX record.
5.5, that's like,
Yeah, yeah.
that's
I
cool.
saw a video, it was really exciting.
Oh, very cool.
It's like over my head. Alright, so that's all I have.
Great, thank you. Bill, please.
Okay, a couple of items. First of all, the November Student of the Month from our Career Tech at the Lower Pioneer Valley Educational Collaborative. Culinary 2 is Kelly McCarran. Health Assisting 1 is Michael Wright. And Integrated Occupational Prep is James DeLesio and Carissa Kirklotis. So congratulations to all those students on their hard work. Also, the winter concert, high school winter concert was a couple of weeks ago. Great production, great job by both J.P. Kieran and Carol Forward, and it was very well attended. And the chorus also performed that following Saturday at the Festival of Trees at Tower Square.
Cool.
And that was a good time also.
Elementary course as well.
And the elementary chorus was there as well.
Wow.
From Meadowbrook. So good times.
Great. Thank you. Deirdre?
Well, I'd say I had to skip the high school concert, but I did make it to the Birchland concert. And again, I'm just amazed every year I go at the talent. And I just feel like they do a great job.
Yeah, they do.
In band and chorus. I give the students a lot of credit for getting up there, and it's just amazing. And I just love seeing hearing the sixth graders, and then you get to hear the seventh and eighth grade, and what an improvement they make in that 1 year. And I think this was the first time that we had the strings for eighth grade playing that night. And it was small, but they did a great job. It was so good. And they're actually starting a jazz band too with eighth grade
Wow.
to get them set for high school.
8th grade,
Yeah.
cool.
Yep.
And the strings were from eLeaf?
Yep.
Donate?
Yeah,
Grant,
The
right?
original
Yep.
grant from Ely.
Very cool, good to hear they're in place.
Yeah. And then this morning we had Health Advisory Council, and I just want to mention too that the website for all wellness or health information is all on the front page of the website.
If you go
Changed it.
to the main page of the district webpage, on the left, you have key links, and health services is right there. You actually could find it probably under health services and district information. We try to put it in a number of different places. So as parents go, if they're interested in it, it's there, wherever they hit first.
And then this morning I didn't get to go to it because again it fell on a Thursday where there was the high school concert. Joanne Welsh had done Inclusion
Oh, yeah.
Week.
Yep.
And they did a presentation on Thursday night, which she said was very well attended, went really well. Again, she gave praises to Don Mackey and the studio. She said it was a great space and he was very helpful.
Right.
And they had students, they had parents, teachers. She said it was a great night. And I hope they do this again next year.
Right.
And it's going to be available to watch. So if you didn't get a chance to be there, I'm interested in seeing it.
Yeah.
And I think around the high school, she had stuff put up, she had visuals up and everything, so.
She did, and actually, I think around the district, we had different activities throughout the week. And it was actually planned by Dr. Welsh and one of our students, Emma Meyer. So it was really a pretty incredible job putting the whole thing together.
Yeah, so I just wanted to mention that, even though I didn't get to see it, Joanne mentioned it this
Thursday
morning,
night
and it
was
sounded,
packed.
yeah, that
Yeah,
Thursday was a
Thursday night
busy
was
night. So she said she had a lot of competition, but she was still happy with the outcome and the number of people that showed up. That's it.
Good, Rich, please.
I got 2 items to report. I also went to the concert, and the word I used to describe it, I complimented Mr. Cannon and Ms. Forward. I told them I thought it was spectacular. One of the
Yeah, it
better
is.
concerts I've seen. And I also got the chance to be a judge in the gingerbread contest.
Oh.
So that's always a tough decision. So, but I take a step back, and these are both performance-based activities, and they're done just so well. And the teachers and the students work so well together to collaborate to produce these products. It's just a good feeling.
And I think they're on view at the library,
Yes, they
in
are.
the children's department, they
Right.
have them up on top.
So, good hit.
Good stuff.
Cool.
The parent negotiations, we're going to continue after the first of the year, and that's going well. I wanted to say that the CPAC's going to be having a meeting on January 8th at 6:30. It'll be at Birchland. I'm not sure what the program's about, but they've been having some great attendance, a lot of great information. Even if you even have a child in early intervention, that type of thing, you might want to think about coming to them because it's great. I have to mention Mrs. Bates and Mrs. Roby had done a Thanksgiving play, and it's on LCAT. Do you have to?
On the website.
It's on the website, okay, it's on the website, you have to see it, it's adorable. And I think every year they do it, and they did a really nice job. That's the beginning, before they get to the high school, because of course I saw that, and that's great. And, what else? Oh, Elif ended up making,
Oh, Valley Gives.
Valley Gives,
Yeah.
$5,000. They won a golden ticket, one of the hours, so they got another $1,200 on top of the other donation. So we were surprised, and they've just finished the allocation, so they're going to grant $20,000, and they've got some really good stuff this year that they're granting, so they're excited about that.
That's great.
Cool. Thank you so much. Okay, item 4, as you'll notice at our last prep meeting for the agenda, I just requested that we move opportunity for visitors to address to number 4. I know it's been there before, and other chairs may have other opinions, but I just thought I'd put it up there. If there's no objection, I'd like it to leave it there for now. The other thing I wanted to just bring up is, in doing so, it kind of pushed me to again read the paragraph that is under it. So what I'd like to do is maybe just kind of look at that, see if we can tighten that slightly, and maybe we'll bring it back to another meeting for discussion. And if anybody else has suggestions, certainly, but maybe we'll just tighten that up a little bit if no one minds. Okay, thank you. We have a field trip to Greece update. Mr. Smith.
Ms. Faulkner's here, who is going to be chaperone for this field trip. In your packets, you see an updated letter from Mrs. Flanagan, then the original letter from Ms. Faulkner outlining the entire trip. We've gotten to the point now, I believe, where we have our roster of students
Yes.
confirmed. I think we have 4 students.
4 students.
And the itinerary is outlined in your packet. And in talking with Ms. Faulkner last week, I realized that we are connecting actually 2 communities coming together.
Yes.
We're going to be traveling with students from Long Meadow.
We're traveling with students from Long Meadow, so there's actually just about 15 people total, so they had about 10, and we have 5. So that way, they're actually going to get to meet some of our neighbors, and that way you get to have a slightly bigger group, and it can be still private. And I actually know the teacher very, very well, who's the leader from Long Meadow, and she and I have both taken students before to Greece and Rome, so I'm confident that the logistics are going to be not a problem.
Okay. Wow, sounds exciting.
Yeah, I think it is, and quite educational.
Is there any lost school days in this, Ms. Faulkner?
Yes, we're planning to leave on Wednesday,
Which is the 16th?
which is the 16th of April, and so we would be missing the 17th, the
Just one day.
Thursday. One day.
Yeah, that's been pretty standard. That's cool.
And that way we don't have to pay weekend fees on either end, because we're leaving on a Wednesday and returning on a
Oh, okay.
Thursday. So that actually worked out really well, because it drops the price a little bit, and anything that can help drop that price a little bit.
Great.
So this would be for final approval.
Final
so that,
approval.
They can finalize all their plans.
Okay.
I move that we approve the field trip to Greece, the dates being April 16th through April 24th.
I'll second.
Okay, motion made and seconded. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you
Enjoy
so
your
much,
trip.
and thank you for the opportunity. Oh, we will.
Thank
We
you
will.
for doing that for the kids, that's great.
They're going to love it. I know they will. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you for
Good
coming
night.
tonight.
Okay, the budget, town budget for FY15. We will continue our discussion this evening. We have some outline in terms of schedule, and so
We do.
we'll see what we can do about it.
Last Thursday evening, which, yes, 2 Thursdays ago, I'm sorry, is that right? December 5th? The same Thursday that everybody was...
Yeah, it was the high
2
school
weeks ago.
concert.
Okay.
We can have.
So, I attended with Mr. Thompson and Ms. Mayu the meeting on budget parameters for the development of the FY15 budget. And Appropriations hosted the meeting and discussed how we should start off our process and how they would like it submitted. And really, they have 2 times, if you will, during the schedule that we submit. They would like something to be submitted in preliminary fashion, preliminary meaning that it has been reviewed by the school committee, or if another department has a board, reviewed by the board, and then prior to actually sitting down with them, which our first meeting with them is on the 27th of February, have the finalized version of that budget. The one element that will be challenging for the January 16th submission of a preliminary budget is that they are asking all departments to look at, as you develop your spreadsheet, as in years past, you develop the spreadsheet that they provide you where you get to level services, which means all programs and personnel are brought forward. You indicate increases that may be there due to, if we look at fuel, generally we estimate a fuel increase, contractual increases, any increases that you might see around necessary supplies and so forth. Then they asked all departments to, as you move across that spreadsheet, to get into an exercise where you have your level services and then you move to a submission of a 1% increase. And what that means is that you increase our current budget by 1%. So you would add roughly $271,000 to our current budget. That's when the discussion took off, as Mr. Thompson and Ms. Mayu know, because no matter what department you're speaking to, that is going to be some work, because it really does mean that you're cutting somewhere. Of the items that any department will need to look at, there are very few items that will be just a 1% increase. So that's going to be a challenge, and that's for January 16th, we're going to have to work toward submitting that spreadsheet and what that 1% entails. What's the number that entails in terms of where it's going to impact programs and what the cost might be.
Can I just clarify?
Sure.
It's 1% above what our contractual agreements are? Or
No, 1%
not even with that?
above what
This
our current year budget
FY14
is.
budget.
Not even counting?
No.
Right.
Okay.
Which actually was one of the questions one of the department heads asked. If I have contracts that are going up more than 1%, what do I do? And
Right, because don't
and
they have
that's
to
the-
approve all of our contracts after they've been approved by us?
Who?
I thought it went to, it doesn't go to.
We are
operations,
sold,
I
we
thought?
are,
No, we're
we
on our
are,
own.
We're recommended
We're-
what to do, recommended, thank you.
Right.
Okay.
Did they give any rationale for this 1% increase?
They did. Right now, as we have very limited information, and that they are very concerned, as they were and stated at both the Springtown meeting and then again at the special town meeting this fall, they're very concerned that we're hovering right around that 5% mark for free cash in the stabilization fund. They would be much more comfortable if we were hovering closer to the 8% mark. And this is a year where their 4 or 5 year plan is finalized, taking no free cash to balance the operational budget for the town. And last year, actually, they did better than they had hoped. I think they initially started the goal with using $250,000 free cash last year, and I think we were well under that. It was closer
It was
to
125.
Yeah, 125. So, right now, as they presented this, they had basic estimates, sort of level funding state aid, because we won't know those numbers. The first numbers around state aid in Chapter 70 specifically for schools and education will come out with the governor's budget, and that'll be mid-January to late January. They also, I believe, either level funded or maybe even slightly reduced town receipts. So those are two items that state aid and town receipts that bring in money to free cash. So the big challenge, and we've already begun, is looking at first, what is level services going to look like in terms of a dollar amount? And then starting to move across that spreadsheet and saying, okay, if this number is higher than the roughly 271,000, how do we get to the 1% increase? And we're working on that, not only in central office, but we're also starting to work on it. We've had one meeting, we'll have another meeting tomorrow with the leadership team to look at that. And what does that mean in terms of an impact across the district? The one recommendation that I would offer this group, since I think you should be an integral part of all of these discussions, I would amend, with your permission, to add a meeting to our schedule of school committee meetings, and maybe add January 13th. So as we come out of the holiday break, we have our regular meeting, January 6th, which this year is actually going to be taking place over at the senior center because we'll meet with Capital first. And certainly we can have budget on the agenda for January 6th. We do not have a meeting on January 13th, that next Monday, and that might be a good time to have a meeting that's budget only.
What time you're looking at, that's tough for me.
Okay, I'm open to any time. So I figured you'd all have your calendars.
What's good for you, Rich?
I mean, the earlier the better, so I can do evening, but it have to be early evening. I don't know if that works for anybody else.
How early?
I mean, I'm fine anytime.
I'm open right now, so it's up to you. You
What
can
time?
set the time. Are you looking at like 4 o'clock, 3
4
o'clock? Is
5
that your
o'clock.
early?
4 o'clock would be great, 5 o'clock would work.
5 o'clock's better for me.
can do
That's
5, but no
fine.
problem.
Well, it's just the one.
Yeah, it would just be the one item. I mean, at that point, hopefully by the 13th, because that week we'd have to submit a preliminary look. 16th's a Thursday.
Oh, 13th.
13th.
13th is a Monday.
Right, so what date are we looking at?
Monday,
you said the
January
13th.
13th,
Yeah,
5
okay,
PM.
yeah, so she got me nervous when she said Wednesday.
Does that work?
That's fine.
I won't be here.
You won't be here.
I'm having surgery on the 10th.
Deirdre's taking notes then.
I'll take notes, that's fine.
All right, if we're gonna do that, then let's put that in some form of a motion, please.
All right, so I make a motion to have a, what do you want to call it,
It would be another school committee
another
meeting on
school
the budget.
committee meeting
Yeah.
on the budget on Monday, January 13th at 5 PM.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded, any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carries 5-0. Questions on the budget, parameters and whatnot?
I'm assuming all departments across the town have been asked to do this?
All departments were there. And I think it's equally challenging. Ours on a larger scale, because we have 402 employees, but as you work down to a smaller department where, even if they have one employee, now you're looking at, okay, you might be closing an office
Right.
Right.
at some point during the week. And so those kind of decisions that all departments are going to have to make.
I mean, it's early in the process, and we really don't have a whole lot of information yet.
Right, we don't.
So that we've got to,
And it is
due
frustrating
diligence.
because I know every department has their issues, but unfortunately, we get so many more things that are told to us to do that other departments don't get from Department of Education or whatever, changing how we teach our students and everything. And that's where I don't think it's as cut and dry and as easy with us to say, just cut it to that. But I respect what they're trying to do, on the other hand.
It would be nice if the
yeah,
Department of
Gordon was
Education would
Fridays
lay
off.
off the unfunded
Yeah.
mandate.
Yeah, it would be nice, it would be nice.
Yeah.
But I think all departments are feeling challenged to look at that 1% increase. And the nice thing is, it is an increase still, but it's a challenging increase because your other increases are going to be a little bit higher than that 1%. I also think appropriations recognizes that they are very early in the process, and they are looking to have discussions, from, say, the 16th all the way up until town meeting or just before, so that they have all the information they possibly can gather and then put forth at their budget hearing, a budget hearing that is supported and sustained with some of the things that the state aid and other things that they'll be looking to get through the spring. They, I believe, have delayed, actually, their budget hearing. Usually it's that first week in April, and I think they're moving it toward the end of April, so that more information can flow in.
Good, stay tuned.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you, Gordon.
You're welcome.
Okay. Now we can talk about a statement of interest from the MSBA. Do you get this letter automatically every year?
No, actually, this is, I think we get alerted, but I've never seen an actual letter. I've seen the emails come across, if you're interested, the window will be opening, but they put a...
Just wondering what triggered the
Yeah,
letter.
it's not funny.
Do they know that we did the
No, they
study?
don't, unless the architects let them know. So anyway, in your packet, there's a letter from the Mass School Building Authority.
It's either that or we're so pathetic they know it's coming.
They have a crystal ball.
Sorry, due for a new school.
And so they are outlining the time frame for submitting a statement of interest, and you can see that it opens January 10th, and we'd be looking to be under the core program, so we would have up until April 11th. So that's something, actually, as we hit the new year, we'll begin drafting with help from the architects from Sims, Maney, and McKee, as well as utilizing some of the experiences of our neighboring districts. Both Mr. O'Shea and Ms. Doyle in Wilbraham and Long Meadow respectively have said that they would offer any assistance they can in just giving insight into the process and things to look for and things to think about. One of the things in this letter that's also outlined is, and I double-checked this with the architects from Sims Mania McKee, once that draft is written of the statement of interest, before you submit, we have to have another formal vote approving the statement of interest, the letter that's actually going to go in, and we need to have the selectmen approve it as well. So we'd have to get on this early spring, we'd have to get on an agenda for the select board and make sure that we've addressed it, shown them the draft, and that they also approve it.
So along those lines, we should probably, beginning or sometime in January, get on their
Like our next
agenda as
meeting?
well.
Yeah.
Just to tell them
Board
what
of
the process
Selectmen, to let them
Give
know
them
what we're
time,
doing
yeah.
for, here's what's coming, so
Okay.
maybe perhaps you and I want to go, and maybe Deirdre, if we can coordinate that.
Sure.
That's all right with folks?
Yep.
Okay.
And we should we have our letter drafted and approved by us prior to going to them?
I'd like to go them and tell them about the process
Just
as
give
we're
them a-
working on it, and then we'll go back to them once we have the completed letter.
Yeah, we have to
Like, can
approve it, I
we
believe, first.
Get that done for like our next
Yeah.
meeting or two, so that,
The statement of interest?
yeah, so we're
Probably
like,
won't be done.
No.
Yeah, it's going to take a while to
no, I'm
to
talking
draft.
about they're doing the.
Oh, yeah, no, what we'll do is we'll outline the process for them in January.
Yep.
And then, once we've gotten a few drafts and we feel this is a pretty solid draft, and we can bring it to one of our meetings
Okay.
and schedule a time to get on the
February,
agenda.
March.
Okay,
By then, we'll
Yeah.
come back by March. Is
Yeah.
basically the,
all right.
Okay.
Just as long as we're,
okay.
We're good at that.
Okay, good. Anything else?
No, those are
Good.
the holiday givings for right now.
Great, excellent. Okay, with that, then I will ask for some sort of motion to adjourn us.
So moved.
Motion made.
Second.
And second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you and good night.